This is Beaverville. Come on in.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 29.
I've been to every city in Mexico. Came across an unclaimed piece of meat in Baja. Turned out to be Rosie. Guess he picked a knife fight with somebody better.
I woke up yesterday morning with a spring in my step.
Start later, please.
I could never know what the day was.
Fast forward at.
Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are number one. We just grabbed every key demographic.
Yeah. Super duper. That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang.
Yes.
Boy, that is good news.
It's Friday. Welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show. It is the, 21st day of February, 2025. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Hockey. Welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show. Welcome to the scene of a porno. What a big day we've got. Tom Bernard coming in to play the Initials game today. I mean, come on, let's do it. That's going to be fun. Mark Parrish, Marty Galarnar returns. I know some of you said you didn't care. Somebody wrote a song about it. I care. I missed her greatly. And then, of course, we're going to meet a very, very special guest, a friend of the show who we're, so excited to meet and so happy he's still with us. His name is Kale, and he was on that plane that flipped upside down in Toronto this past week. And he is coming in today at 7 o'clock to tell us the story about what it was like to be inside that plane. So looking forward to meeting Kale. So a lot to get to. We should start right now. Here's some Power Trip Morning Show comedy. Jim Gaffigan. It's warmer outside. It's going to be a great weekend. Come on in now. I am so glad you're here.
There are so many television shows and episodes of television shows we could and should be watching. It's amazing any of us are here right now. It's kind of overwhelming. DVR, on demand. Sometimes I open my Netflix, I'm like, I don't think I can do it. I'm not even going to make a dent here. And I know there's pressure. We all feel it because we've developed excuses for our friends, like we're dealing with debt collectors. You watch Game of Thrones? I'm a little behind. Give me a week. My wife had a dumb baby. And it's never ending. You finish that show, now you have to watch this show, and then now I need to learn how to read again. I need to sound out some words and see if I can read.
He's a stress fever.
The finish line is waiting. Fate is on your side. You hear the distant thunder. There's lightning in your stride. For the warriors, never giving up the lead. To take it to the top. There's only one winner. You're never gonna stop.
All right, Friday, February 21st. Chris just said a Giants show, man. It's a weird one today, but eclectic as hell. Marnie Gellner back, Mark Parrish here. It's Friday, so John Creasel's here.
What's up?
Crease.
It's been a minute.
But then the GOAT, Tom Bernard, going to be here in the 8 o'clock hour to play Initials at 8:15.
How about that?
That's insane.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Sounds like he's vaguely familiar with the show and vaguely familiar with the game. But we'll see how it works.
Yeah, he calls it the letter game.
Yeah, the letter game's at 8:15.
I like that better.
Yeah.
In your letter. Ooh, in your
And then Chris just mentioned it again at 7 o'clock. Somebody who was on the upside down plane.
Yeah.
And that's not a reference to Stranger Things. That's the actual upside down plane.
Yeah, man.
Or the movie Flight.
Yes. This person lived basically that experience. You said his name's Kale?
His name is Kale, yeah.
Like the vegetable or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah.
Is that a vegetable? Is kale a vegetable?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a lettuce, right?
Leafy green, yeah.
Gross.
I think that's Kale.
It sure is.
I bet this guy's a Cale.
Oh,
You got that right,
not
buddy.
like C.
You got that right, buddy.
Oh, like
Yeah.
the Champs?
Yeah.
Bummer. But
way to go.
What a game.
That was an awesome game.
Pretty cool.
Lived up to the hype.
It was sweet.
Pretty cool.
It was so good.
How do you leave that guy open like that? I don't know what happened.
Yeah, of all people.
I don't know how that
He's
happened.
not the one.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews, man, what are you doing? But
he didn't score once, right?
No, and he had a great man. He could have buried that game winner moments before, and then he ends up watching their guy bury game winner.
Do you think he was on the take?
Oh wow! Do you think he took some cash?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did either. Just to say that out there,
It's
so everybody heard it.
wild.
I did not think that happened.
What if Austin Matthews is a Russian spy?
He's like in a hurry?
And is absolutely sabotaging American victories.
Could be the case. I mean, he does live in Canada. And so he's not, he's from here, obviously.
Well,
obviously.
What do you mean, obviously?
Obviously. I mean,
well, because he's playing for the United States of America.
Well, that's exactly what a really good spy would be doing.
Yeah, that's correct. So I'm just saying that. But now he lives in Canada, so I guess he could have been
to throw off
corrupted.
the scent.
Yeah.
It looks very unsuspicious to be from Toronto.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I want to start throwing out these wild allegations right
Well, a couple days ago, you said it was pilot error.
Yeah.
You just did.
And
You
I think
just
I was
did.
right on that.
I think you were right. Yeah, you were.
Man, I swear to you, I am not. I'm not watching that video anymore. Because I swear, every time we land that Vikings plane, because it's so full, it's got all the equipment in it. It's so full. Every time we come in, we're like, damn. We just left a dent in the ground. Now I'm going to be worried every time we land.
We were on the flight back from San Diego.
Oh yeah,
that had happened, and I was watching some westerns on the plane.
Hell yeah!
Almost done with my western list.
Yeah.
And I had the seat back on, and I was flipping through the channels or whatever, and I was like, oh, there it was. And my wife goes, "Why would you have this on during the flight?" And I go, it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, right.
We're on the plane.
Yeah.
It's all good. I wasn't scared. Still, as crazy as it is, and as often as it seemed lately, there's like 14,000 flights a day.
Yep.
So there's a much better chance, especially with the drivers we have in this state, of being in a major car accident.
Yeah. Well, and I don't want to step on his touchdown call, but our friend Kale did not fly home. He asked and received a ride home via car from Delta.
Yeah, I think that
might be a good.
Yeah.
Well, we can ask him how long before you get back on a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't. No, I've been in a Humvee since, but not over there.
Yeah, right. Hey, speaking of that, man, I have so much stuff for you guys today. Last night when I texted you and Tim, the Crease, I was watching a Vietnam documentary, a new one that's on Apple TV.
Okay.
It's called Vietnam. I think it's called Vietnam: The War That Changed America. And in the very first episode, so it's interesting because it's told by the veterans themselves. It's the only audio you hear is actually veterans. They show a lot of stuff, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but they have some footage of these two gentlemen who are best friends, and one of them stepped on a landmine, and they're both still with us, believe it or not. But he told a story that sounded almost exactly like your story, and his best friend told a story that sounded almost exactly like your best friend. That's why I remembered and texted you guys right then about that show. But I wonder, you should watch this, and it's a series, and that is episode 1.
I'm not on Apple TV enough.
It's really got a lot of good stuff,
does.
man.
I
really does.
subscribe and don't use it like a fool.
Yeah, I mean,
Severance.
Shrinking, Severance,
Ted Lasso.
I mean, just those 3 right there are worth your money.
I've been through most of Ted Lasso. I still got to finish it.
Yeah. Shrinking's even better in my opinion.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love Shrinking.
Yeah, me too. But this documentary,
I'll check it out.
Man, it's something else.
And thanks for the invite. But we're going to Shane Gillis tomorrow, and
that's pretty cool.
Same.
Excited. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Jacked about it. Yeah, that's going to be wild. I can't wait to hear the story from Kale.
He stepped on a landmine. He said he heard it click.
Yeah.
He heard it click and he said, that's it, man.
We heard, that was the weird thing, is I heard the metallic clank, and then Tim had said he heard the same thing because there were propane tanks.
Right.
But you don't have enough time. All of a sudden, though, when you think back, you're like, oh, yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
But you don't have time to go, oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Wow, I can't imagine.
And Vietnam's such a wild... I hear so many stories at work from veterans that come in to apply for VA benefits. And just in the conversation and in the process, a lot of them are like, where'd you lose your legs in Vietnam?
Brilliant. I love that.
And
I bet John doesn't love it as much as you do.
I don't care. It's all good. But my wife because Tim will immediately text, "It happened again."
Well,
it happened again.
And from Tim's perspective, Cory, this is, and I encourage everybody to watch this documentary. They talk more to the best friend who had to stay behind.
Right. And obviously he's more with it.
For sure.
Not in shock and the whole, yeah.
He saw red for about a year.
Yeah.
He just killed everything. He even tells a story about, forgive me, everybody, nearly cutting a guy's head off with a machete. He's like, I'm killing everybody. That was my best friend.
Yep.
Yeah. It's so
Tim had moments like that, but never. But nowadays, there's enough around you that, like, he didn't snap, but he just, because he had to still be in charge of men.
Unreal.
And so to be a squad leader and and then the fact that they sent, when they found the insurgent cell with the torture house that made these bombs, normally you'll have, like, our guys, the ones who are directly involved, is like an ancillary part of it. So they're not sitting out entirely. You don't send them in to do the work. They sent our squad in to do the work. So to have that faith in our guys, and one of the guys reached for a handgun. They didn't get shot. They could have. They got, the butt stock of the rifle to the head. They got handcuffed, the whole bit. So they went through trial. So even with as fired up and angry as everybody was, with two guys being killed and then me being severely injured, they were still just top of the line professionals. That's what sets our military apart. But we weren't put in spots like Vietnam continuously. The spots they were put in, I don't think our military ever was since then, even Iraq, Afghanistan, and et cetera. And I don't think we'll be again. Thank goodness, because we learned from it. Wild. Yeah, so I'm bummed I can't be there because that would have been awesome. But I will check out that show again. It's called Vietnam, the War That Changed America.
It's a great documentary. Yeah,
The War That Changed America.
That's right. Yeah, War That Changed America. Yeah, and our Vietnam show's in Red Wing tomorrow night, so I'm excited. Well, tomorrow, and we're doing a matinee show for people like you, Cory, who would like to be in bed.
What time will that be?
We do 2:30 and 7 or 2 and.
I think you texted
tomorrow.
2 and.
Yeah, that's 2 and 7:30 tomorrow in Red Wing at this old theater. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, there's so much to get to. So much to get to. I watched the weirdest movie ever, Cory. Holy crap, did I watch a weird movie?
Ladybugs?
Oh, man, no.
Help me get unstuck from the dryer?
Yeah. No, I did watch that.
Yeah, Operation Dumbo Drop?
Big T's at work?
Anymore. I don't consider those shows weird.
Weekend at Bernie's.
The Substance.
Oh,
really?
There's no way to prepare you for what you're about to see. Demi Moore and what is her name? The girl from Groundhog's Day's daughter.
Andy McDowell's daughter, Margaret Qualley or something, I think her name is.
I've never seen anything like this film. There's no way to prepare you for what you're about to see. It's definitely worth your time. It's kind of a horror film, but it's kind of not. Give Demi give her all the awards. I've never seen anything like this film. It's ridiculous. It's really great. I've never seen anything like it. It's the gross.
Maxwell raved about it too.
It's unbelievable.
What's it called?
The Substance.
Substance. Okay.
Yeah, The Substance. I'm gonna tell you right now.
We heard that zip over there. That was a loud zip.
Well, you see Demi naked all the time.
Really?
And Margaret, is that what you said her name?
Still put together?
Yeah. And you see her naked even more. And at one point, they're laying boob to boob naked.
Just bumping hoops? Yes.
Yep, that's right. So
I'd also like to see her topless.
Oh, you do.
Perfect boobs.
Yeah, they are. They are. But they're all perfect.
I love it.
I love them too, buddy.
Such a great
all of them. Every one of them. Ain't a broken one in the bunch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Do you get what the hawk is cooking?
Yep.
Oh, good.
You should see if you can get that to stick.
Yeah.
It worked for The Rock.
It did, but
why not?
I feel dirty saying it every time for some reason, which is weird for me.
That was peak wrestling.
Yeah, man.
I freaking loved that.
Yeah, man.
Val Venus, though, was the unheralded champ.
The cheese?
His entrance, because he was a porn star.
Oh.
And that's when wrestling was greasy, before it went back to being relatively family friendly. But his entrance video, it was like a screw being drilled into wood. It was a flower growing to be erect. All of the metaphors.
I've never heard of that guy.
Yeah, Val Venus. We'll have to, and his entrance music was, the saxophone, and then it was "Hello, ladies." It was just,
brilliant.
Val.
What were they doing?
Venus.
What were they doing? More of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on the Fin.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
The Power Hour usually is live at 8 a.m. at KFAN.com/watch. We might fire that thing up.
Fire that thing up.
About an hour early, so just be ready for that.
Yeah.
It's all thanks to Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed.
Well, and speaking of that, the 8 o'clock hour will feature Tom Bernard.
Insane.
Which is insane for a whole bunch of reasons. You know what? Let's just bring it on the air what we were talking about off the air anyway. Christopher, I was just saying to these fine gentlemen and Sauce.
Hello.
Hi. You've been doing radio longer than the rest of us, and more so. This is why I wanted to ask you specifically. You've done it in multiple markets, right?
Right.
Virginia Beach.
Yeah, Virginia,
and, Union
Indiana,
City. Yep.
Yeah, Ohio,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you've been here for a long time.
That's right.
So the one thing I was just saying about Bernard is when the Power Trip first started, and Tom Bernard was dominating this market, unlike essentially anything we've ever seen in the ratings. Right?
Chase down Stern.
It was epic. The gap between him and number 2 when we started was it looked insurmountable. It looked impossible to ever catch Tom Bernard.
Yep.
So we've spent 24 years of the Power Trip Morning Show battling really 2 shows. The dream of someday catching Tom Bernard.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last, decade, it's been battling the guys at 93X.
Right. Yep.
And what's super cool, but I just don't know if it's rare or common, we've had zero animosity between either show. It was never like, F those guys, they suck, they're idiots. It's always been like, man, Tom Bernard's the GOAT. And now in the last decade, it's like, man, Nick and Josh are super good dudes.
Yeah, they're great dudes.
So
Dana's cool too.
Yeah, Dana's great.
But I'm just we've never had anything bad to say about either show. We've never wanted ill will on either show. We've never had bad blood. It was just, I hope we beat them. Right?
Right.
They probably hope they beat us. We hope we beat them. But it's just is that rare to have your direct competition be friendly, or is that
Anchorman?
Right, or is that more common across the country than I think?
Oh, it's not common at all. This is a strange market, man. This is it's interesting because there are so many people who have been in this market for such a long time. And I think that's one of the reasons. You eventually are going to be working with the person across the street. Number one, and number two, I just think this is a great market for radio and for media in general. We are all grateful and have great jobs, and I think we know that.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of room for everybody. It's I don't know. There's a lot that I'm excited to talk to Tom Bernard about, and there's so much about this show that is based on what he did in a strange way.
They were groundbreaking.
Yeah,
I was saying I was obsessed with that show. I went to a bit. I was in middle school, I think, maybe late elementary school when I started listening, and then middle school I would listen on the bus on my headphones. But Terry Train had a meet and greet at a furniture store kind of near me. Got my parents to drop me and some friends off, and we went there. And now thinking about it, seeing you guys do appearances and all that, I'm like, oh God, that must have been annoying. She could not have been nicer.
Terry's
she's very nice.
She's A+.
Signed because they had best of on cassette tapes in a almost like the Disney case, the Disney movie cases.
Yeah.
And she gave me one of those and signed. There was where you enter, and then at the end she was like, well, look at what a strange coincidence. You won. She gave it to me, signed it, listen to your parents.
Oh, that's
just
cool.
the night, and I never forgot it.
That's cool. Yeah, no, so basically when they had me, I've told the story in the air before, but they had me write the, my plan for the Power Trip Morning Show. When Star and I walked in and said, hey, let us give it a shot. And they said, well, tell us, write up a one sheet. And my one sheet was exactly, I said, there's no way to beat Bernard at what he's doing. So let's be the exact opposite. And at that time, I'd worked for the Howard Stern Show locally, and part of my job was to monitor what Tom was doing. And so I listened to almost every show that they did as much as I listened to almost every show that Well, almost not. I mean, not even almost. I listened to every show that Stern did. So I had the way Stern did his show, and then I had the way Tom did their show. And there was, I wonder how he'll react to this, because I don't mind telling him this. I mean, it's not a shot. It's just that's how it was. But
it's more of a compliment, honestly.
At that time, their show, there was a lot of negativity. There was a lot of, basically it was basically what Sauce does. I hate the Twins. I hate this. I hate everything. Right. And so I was like, the only thing we can do is just try to be the exact opposite of that. And that was the mission statement of the show, and that's what we did. And for one reason or another, it's worked. So that's big.
I was listening to that show when I worked at Ink Factory in Minneapolis. I had the 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift. I was a tub scrubber. That's where you start out. Greasy job, but awesome. Right. Paid well, like
Scrub
good benefits.
Tub, baby.
But man, you went home every day tired. I was listening to the KQ morning show when 9/11 happened.
Wow.
And I re-listened to that recently. Just amazing.
Yeah.
How, I mean, one of the guys on there actually was like, Bin Laden, when the second plane hit, called it.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow.
That's how I got the information too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, because I was on the air down the dial at 100.3.
Yeah, why were you listening to Chris?
Once I got deployed and this station was available, because I listened to you guys then in the afternoon. I mean, that's back when it was Dan, Barrero and Hartman,
Hartman
I listened
Burrow,
the rest of the day. Sludge and Lake when I was on the night shift. So then I switched to this station, and I still can't believe I get to be on here.
Yeah.
That's fun, man.
And again, just for perspective, I don't know how much the listeners care about the ratings thing, but it's just fascinating because it's been a huge part of our story, right? Is we got to figure out how to get ratings. There was a point way back in the day, how many years in, Chris? Maybe the first 2 or 3 or 4 years when Bernard was 30 shares ahead of anybody else. Mm-hmm. And Mick Anselmo flat out told us, if you guys ever beat Bernard, we'd give you like $1 million bonus. And he even joked, we could put that in the contracts because it's never going to happen. But it would be worth it to us in 2005 or whatever to give you each $1 million bonus for being number one. Mm-hmm. That's how far we've come, and that's how impossible it sounded. We could put it in there, but it'd be a waste of ink, basically.
And by the time we actually did it, this is the best part, by the way. By the time we actually did it, we had to buy ourselves ice cream at Dairy Queen.
Yeah, we went across the street.
Dairy Queen.
Went across the street to Dairy Queen, and it took us 15 years, but we're number one. What do you want to do? And the three of us, Sauce and Hawk and I, went to Dairy Queen. That's not even there anymore.
Yeah.
Went across the street.
We had blizzards.
And had blizzards.
And then
went
That's how
home.
we celebrated. We didn't get our million.
We had blizzards. And if you recall, the company didn't pay for the blizzards.
No, I bought them.
Hawk paid for them.
I sure did. Thanks, guys.
Paid for the blizzards and then went home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Think of how much media, especially radio, has changed since then.
Yeah.
Oh, gigantically.
It's insane.
Yep.
And believe it or not, our numbers are even, I mean...
It's ridiculous.
That's what he was telling me off air.
It's ridiculous.
Like, wonderful.
But look, we are aware. Everybody has their window, and this is our window right now.
These are the good old days.
The clock's ticking,
Just
right?
making money hand over fist. It's great.
But I mean, we're not going to be in our spot for the next 40 years. I don't know.
Did you say 4?
4 would be all right.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take 4 more. But
I need more than 4.
Yeah, you do. Chris and I don't.
I need more than 4. Please.
We got to get you. We got to get Louis at least to middle school.
Yeah, I got to get him to middle
Louis on this team.
Yeah.
No, it's never met Tom Bernard, but obviously, again, I'm with you.
Never met him.
Nope,
You've met him, right, Hogs?
Yeah, huh?
Yeah. I'm with you, Chris. I grew up on Bernard, and then I'm not trying to poke the bear when he gets here, but I was such a giant fan of Stern's E! show, the TV show.
Yep.
Because there were boobs.
Well, it was just like, it was like, it's a bunch of sluts and weirdos. And I'm like, what? It was a freak show every night on E! So I watched that TV show so religiously that when Stern came to the cities, I'm like, oh, I'm all in on Stern. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, here's the tip of the cap to Bernard. Bernard kicked Stern's ass about as bad as it got kicked in any place in the country, right?
Yeah.
It took him a while, but this is one of Stern's biggest failures, is it not, Hawk?
That's kind of overblown, to be completely honest.
Is it really?
He talked about the KQ morning show on air.
Yeah, he did. So,
which is insane nationwide. Right. I mean, that's
so Tom definitely beat Stern, and it hadn't been done in the local market. And they were brilliant about the fact that they never mentioned the Howard Stern show, not even one time. We tried to get him to. We tried to incite riots at their events. It didn't work out. Stern was number 2 and had a really, really good share of the market. He did take a dent out of Tom, but it wasn't enough to make up for the money they were paying to have him broadcast in this market. So it wasn't a catastrophic failure, but he did not beat Tom. Tom held him off, which nobody else was able to do in any market.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah,
and he called him barnyard on the air.
Yep. Oh, he called him all kinds of things, but he wouldn't bite.
But back to what you were saying, John, about like growing up on Bernard is there is no doubt this show is a bastard child of Tom Bernard, of Howard Stern, right? We're standing on the shoulders of giants. It's just, we're a dumber, newer version of those same kind of formats, right? It's, if they hadn't done what they did, we wouldn't be sitting here doing penis jokes for 3.5 hours.
Right. Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just,
you take what you like and you do what you can do with it. You know?
Exactly.
And that's it. That's what we've done for sure. Yeah.
Penis jokes are the best too.
I like fart jokes better, but I'll go with penis jokes.
See, but again, that's what Chris is talking about. Everybody takes it their own direction. Take whatever middle school topic you want and run it into the ground. That's what we do.
That's right. I can't wait. And like, this is going to be weird, but I want to thank both Hawk and Cory for like being like, yeah, that'd be great. I'm really excited for this. Like, I love the man. I've idolized him. I love Hogs and Cory. I'm just like pumped. I like came to tears last night thinking about it. I don't know why. Like,
you cry a lot. You cried at the hockey game.
I cried all the time now with my son.
Yeah, he cries.
Yeah,
life is good.
I am pumped. Like, this is going to be maybe the.
We need to golf with him this year.
I can't wait.
It does sound like he is going to get his ass kicked in initials, though. It sounds like he's preparing to get shut out.
I think it's going to be a little bit like Mike Madonna, where once he realizes, like, it's like coming into somebody's home game of cards and he doesn't know what he'll just kind of, but yeah, it'll be great.
I'm just afraid that, like, it's going to be crossing the streams because, I mean, you and him on the same show might be just too much, Cory. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Do you send Sauce home before he gets here?
I'd be devastated. I'd lay down.
I'm devastated when I saw he wasn't getting in here till 8.
Yeah.
I'll already be at the office. Damn it. Because I haven't seen him in such a nice dude. That was a very like pinch myself moment when I met him. He reached out and was like, I want you to be on my podcast. Will you come to my house and be on? And I was like, what? He called and
What's
I was
happening?
like,
Right.
But there is no, when you hear his voice on the phone, I was like, this isn't someone else pretending to be him. I was like, are you kidding me? So yeah,
it'll be fun.
Yeah, like I said yesterday when we announced it on the air, you can debate who the other three are, but he is the GOAT. He is the Mount Rushmore of Twin Cities radio.
Yes.
The other three are the debatable ones, right? You can pick and choose who you want to be the other three. Bernard's number one.
Tuma.
He's in my top 4, but again, that's subjective. But it's undeniable
Hogs
that Bernard's
Daddy.
number 1.
Yes,
all time.
He followed me on Twitter, like, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and
those are allegations that you have to be careful about making. I mean,
you wish he did.
It was just the coolest freaking moment. Like, I just have such deep. I've obviously never met him, and looking forward to it. But growing up, just on the back of the Oldsmobile Cutlass, and Dad's listening to KQ as many of our.
Oh, thanks for the support, Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, God.
He was drunk, but we can't help it.
Classic Brian driving the Cutlass drunk.
I got on air once calling. I was telling a story about when I had been to Cancun for spring break in 2001 and had a greasy little encounter on the dance floor with someone, and ended up both of us got kicked out of the club.
Was he pissed?
What's that? It was once they detached both of us.
Wow.
So I told the story on air, and it's funny because that was like 2001, and I said what happened on that show. Here, I didn't just now. So, great show. But,
it's going to be cool.
Very
great.
So that's at 8 o'clock. We'll come back. We'll do Front Page Sports. Marnie Gellner in a little bit. Mark Parrish in a little bit at 7 o'clock. We have one of the survivors from the upside down plane from a week ago who's a listener of this show. And
he was listening to the show on that plane.
Which is just insane.
No way.
Yeah.
I think if he dies, the last thing he heard was Sauce going, the Twins suck.
I always hate
the all the time, more than I should.
I know. I think about that too. Yeah. Whenever I have Rosie laugh at an upside down crash during the traffic report, I'm like, wonder if they're listening right now as they're hanging from their car.
And like and they go, Rosie.
No, right.
More of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on the Fan.
Join me tomorrow at Panino Brothers in Apple Valley for a Bud Light Wild Watch party. Be there bright and early at 11:30 a.m. to watch your Wild in action and sign up for your chance to qualify for first-round playoff tickets this year. Get the full details at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Hey, Zacho.
Yes, sir.
Is it true? I heard a little boydie told me that you talked to Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon yesterday.
That's right.
How was that?
It was surreal.
Yeah. So they play, well, I should say that he and his band, not REO Speedwagon, but, basically he is REO Speedwagon, playing at TI tomorrow night. And you got a chance to, was he cool to you? Was he nice to you? What happened?
Yeah. I had all these questions prepared, and obviously it's, we only get like 10 or so minutes, and he went over, and that was on his doing, which was really cool.
That's
but
cool. I
think I asked about 2 or 3 questions. He answered everything I had prepared. I only asked like two of them because he kind of just went right into everything, and I was obviously being a young new radio guy, was not gonna want to approach the whole REO controversy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But he took it out of my hands, and he went right into it and addressed it head on, and just a fascinating story with his with the fact that now he's going to tour as Kevin Cronin Band, not REO, but it's pretty much 98% REO. They just don't have the name anymore.
Here's a question I could probably just Google, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to ask you guys because a couple of you are big Speedwagon fans, right? Yeah. What the hell again does REO Speedwagon mean? Does it stand for something?
It's an Oldsmobile. It's an actual car.
Oh,
back in the day, yeah.
REO was the maker?
I think it might be his initials, REO Speedwagon. Something that sticks in my mind that was the guy.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oldsmobile's
the guy that
initials.
created the car.
Yeah. Let me see.
REO, Sauce, you know what it stands for. What's his name?
It stands for Randy Extra
His
Oil.
middle name? Ransom Eli Olds.
So not Randy Extra Oil?
No.
I thought it was Randy Extra Oil.
That'd be unbelievable if a guy who ended up making cars had a middle name Extra and the last name Oil.
Yeah.
That's pretty much naming your kid Jeeves and having him be a butler.
Yeah.
Ransom's a great name for a dude.
Yeah.
Ransom is cool.
Well, again, just like Berkeley, Paul Lambert.
Yeah.
Ransom's one of those names where if your name's Ransom and you're the quarterback of the football team,
right,
it's the coolest name that's ever lived.
Right.
If your name's Ransom and you're me when you're 10,
you're
getting
trouble.
pushed downstairs.
Yeah.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble. Cool, though.
Yeah, cool.
If it hits.
There you go. Well, good. Tomorrow night, man, TI. If I wasn't playing, I would be there for sure.
Yeah.
I love that band, and they're playing REO tunes. Why not, right?
He shared a picture on his Facebook of the set list that he's working on. And,
really?
And then also he mentioned on that post, I don't think I got a chance to ask him about it, but his wife's has family from Hudson, Prescott, River Falls. Apparently he milked a cow at a barn in the Wisconsin area. So,
was that the true story?
Yeah, that was a true story.
That was a euphemism? Okay.
No, he literally. They apparently her wife's family has like one of the last farms in that area, and so he said he loves the Twin Cities. In fact, he talked about went in detail about a story where Styx was going through they're split up back in the day, and REO was kind of trying to relaunch, and they chose the Twin Cities to play their first show, and now the Kevin Cronin Band is playing their debut show, if you will, at TI tomorrow night. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
nice. Go see it.
Go see it at Treasure Island tomorrow.
Indeed.
Time now for Front Page Sports, presented by Holiday Station Stores.
Holiday Station Stores, buy 3 Red Bulls for just $8.50 for a limited time. If you want to wake up and you need some Red Bull, that's the place to go. Buy 3 for $8.50.
Have you tried?
Go ahead.
Have you tried the new monk fruit kind?
Excuse me?
Monk fruit Red Bulls?
No.
Fantastic.
With you.
Well, you can mix and match any flavors you want, so
Yes.
try that one if Creaso's giving it the thumbs up.
Hell yeah.
The Holiday and White Bear had a great Diet Coke day yesterday.
I love that, man. When you take that first sip and you're like, that's a good one.
Oh, it was amazing.
That's a good one right there.
Oh,
yeah. Excellent.
So yesterday, for the first time in over 30 years, I'm ready for the jokes, but I'm going to say it anyway.
You kissed a man.
I went skiing.
Skiing?
Who were you sitting between?
Yeah.
There's the jokes.
Was Tommy there?
Are you so sore today?
So
In your
freaking sore. I didn't fall once, but I'm just sore as hell.
Those are muscles you don't use.
Right. Well, because I hadn't
He's looking
skied
at your
since I
whole
was
body, by the way.
I hadn't skied since I was 12 or 13, and then I picked up the snowboard and never looked back. Right. So I hadn't been on actual skis in about 30 years. But my kiddo has a field trip today. Stay with me. We're going to get back to Diet Coke. My kiddo has a field trip today that's a ski trip, and she's like, I don't want to be the kid that like just bites it all day long. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right. So we went to Elm Creek, Hawk, your neck of the woods. And
yeah, man, it's a great little hill over there.
That is the perfect spot to learn. It is the perfect size hill for a kid to learn how to ski. It's unbelievable. It was awesome. So she skis. She figured it out super fast. She's going to, she'll do awesome today. She was a natural. It was awesome. So we skied for a couple of hours. We're both sore. I'm like, all right, you got skiing tomorrow. You don't need to ski for like 7 hours. Let's go home. We stop at McDonald's on the way home, and she just had a Sprite at freaking Elm Creek. This is not worth telling this long of a story, but I'm already halfway through it, so I'm not stopping now. We get to McDonald's, and she's like, I just had a Sprite. Can I have something else? I'm like, order whatever you want. I don't care. She goes, can I get a Diet Coke? It's weird for an 11-year-old to order Diet Coke. But she's had it in the past.
It tastes better.
She has the Diet Coke, first sip, and she's like, God, why is this so much better than everywhere else? And I almost called Zach on speakerphone.
He will explain.
Because I'm like, Zach's going to tear up if my 11-year-old daughter is raving about how McDonald's Diet Coke is better than any Diet Coke she's ever had. So it was her first day skiing. Her mind was blown by McDonald's Diet Coke. Yeah. Look at him smiling over there.
Crying. I mean, you must be full of pride.
Yeah. She's a natural, and she likes good Diet Coke.
I mean,
couldn't be more sore. Like my back is devastated. I skied like 2.5 hours.
And tomorrow will be worse.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Now, is it sore where you had your surgery, or you're not worried?
No.
Like,
Wait,
what surgery did he have?
No.
Do you lop it off?
No. But in the first 10 minutes, I got the itch again. I got to start snowboarding.
Yeah. Well,
I'm so tired of poker being my only hobby because all I do is lose. So it's just heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak.
And you missed initials at Bucks on Tuesday.
True. Because I played until
poker.
midnight and then busted because that's what I do.
Did you lose?
Anyway, Tommy
Sure
likes
did.
Did you clean up?
But no, I was 10 minutes in and I'm like, I got to go snowboarding again. This is the best. It's such a fun feeling, man. I loved that garbage.
Yeah.
You don't break your wrists skiing, though, correct?
Like, I mean, you could,
yeah.
But right. But way more likely on snowboards.
But the best part of that story, Corey, is when you were like, you're skiing tomorrow. We can finish. But that was you being like, we got to go. My back hurts.
Well, like, you know, this is like a tow rope situation, right? You go down a decent hill for a beginner and then you take a tow rope up. When you actually go skiing or snowboarding on a big mountain or a bigger mountain, you get the chairlift to sit down, take a break, rest up. This was 2.5 hours straight of skiing, tow rope, skiing, tow rope, skiing, tow rope, skiing, tow rope. I was like, I'm old. This sucks. Where's a chairlift?
Well, you're a good dad.
Oh, man. So, yeah, Diet Coke, Zachary. She's a fan. What if she's done with Sprite and moving on?
Yeah. What's the point? What's the point of Sprite?
No, I'm with her. That's don't drink Diet Coke from anywhere else either. If you can go to McDonald's, go to McDonald's.
McDonald's Sprite is also A+.
So then she did, though. She's like, well, why is it different? I'm like, I should just call Zach. I'm like, I can kind of explain it, but I'm not going to be exactly correct. I almost called you. I did say that. I'm like, somehow they filtrate the water or filter the water differently. I go, Zach could explain it, but let's just get home.
And back to the full circle, back to the sponsor. I'm telling you, if you're on your way to Duluth or whatever, 35E and County Road E on the way up in the Vadnais Heights area.
The VH?
Jimmy's exit, if there are a lot of people. Just that holiday, it's new, and it has the best.
That used to be in Amico, right?
Yeah, they tore it down. That's where
I used to buy Charge's Fantasy Football Weekly magazine was there.
How cool is that?
Any other magazines?
No, I was too young at that time to buy the Grease.
The Grease.
Canada wins in overtime, 3-2 in the Four Nations face-off. They defeat the Americans. The Americans led 2-1.
Double the tariffs. Double the tariffs.
2-1, and then Canada tied it up, and then Connor McDavid left open right in the middle of the ice and just buried it in overtime. And that was after Bennington, Zachary, had 2 or 3 or 4 just spectacular overtime saves to keep Canada alive. So all the commentators, everybody on Twitter was basically like, Bennington's the MVP because it didn't even matter what else happened. He saved that game about 4 times.
Yeah. He got a lot of there was a lot of controversy with his pick because he traditionally hasn't played the best in big moments, but he showed up yesterday, and my goodness, that was the whole game was one of the best, if not the best, hockey game I've ever watched live.
It was so fun.
It was the defensive plays on both sides. Not only were the goaltenders keeping the puck out of that, but there were some amazing plays. Jacob Slavin had a coming out party last night. He's been kind of hidden in Carolina for a while, but now he made it his mark, and
he basically made a save on the one wide open on the one side, and it was like how that hand-eye coordination is insane.
To spin around and to find it right away. I mean, it was an incredible display of athleticism. It seemed like the sports world's eyes were all on the game last night, which is really, really cool for the sport of hockey. We've got a long way to go. We got to make the game, as much as I'm excited about, potentially more fans, but we got to make the game more affordable on a youth level. And so I hope that that's part of this conversation moving forward as the game does grow. But to bring it back to the positives, my goodness, what a display of athleticism last night. What a game. You guys saw it. I mean, it's a whole new level, and they cared. They cared more than I've ever seen.
That's the most
professional athletes care.
I've been for a sporting event since basically kickoff of the last, the Vikings-Rams game, because then the excitement was immediately gone. But this lived up to the hype every bit. It was stressful as hell to watch. My wife was glued to the TV, and she likes hockey, but she's kind of like, all right, I'll start really paying attention in late March, early April. NHL playoffs are awesome. There's no sport that can be that quick of a death. I mean, in overtime, where it's like, USA wins. Nope, good save. Go back the other way. It's like awesome. Joe Pesci thinking he's getting made. He walks into the empty room and he's dead. And it's just, they're celebrating. And I'm like, all right, TV off, go to bed.
And I'll tell you, especially this time of year now, we have section tournaments being played for high school hockey. And
next weekend?
It starts. I mean, the sections are already started for most sections. There's a couple haven't, but that overtime, and I've always said section hockey is better than the state tournament because they're high school careers that are ended.
Yeah.
So that leaves everybody else, they're going to all play in Saturday and whatever. But that's the devastating. That's what makes this sport just unlike any others. When they go to overtime and you can possibly see your high school hockey career ended because of a stupid bounce, So it's a fun time of year. Great time. I mean, the NHL, the presentation, the pregame, the anthem, everything. Class act. It's weird. Again, I can't tell you how weird it is as a hockey fan to have this much praise for the National Hockey League, but they knocked it out of the park, and it was an absolute display for all the other sports leagues to try to figure out how to capture this magic on their own. To be fair, Major League Baseball kind of did it with the World Baseball Classic, but this was on a whole new level last night.
You are electric. What really matters after this? We'll do wild news as well. Marnie Gellner later, Mark Parrish later, Tom Bernard later, the upside down plane survivor later. We'll talk to Kale in a little bit. And $85,000 up for grabs with the St. Paul Federal Credit Union initials jackpot. One of you have a crack at that at 8:15. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
Radio app.
Kevin Hart coming to town. He's in town probably tonight. Maybe he'll be fine.
Because he's tonight and Sunday, right?
He's got the Acting My Age tour here in the Twin Cities at the Armory. Tickets are sold out, but we got your tickets for the show tonight. Here's the keyword. It's comedian. Go to KFAN.com/contest to enter now and enter the keyword comedian. for your shot to see Kevin Hart tonight. Great week of comedy here in the Twin Cities.
That's a perfect keyword because he's a comedian.
He is a comedian, Core.
Man, who comes up with these keywords?
I looked it up on Wikipedia.
Nailed
it's better
it.
than Get Hard. Which
is one of his movies, but not really great that you had to read that.
Tex-Mex and sex.
Yeah, we're gonna blow this song up.
Have somebody down the hall play it. See if it goes viral. Right, didn't Dave Ryan's show basically put Roxette on the map?
That was, Well, no, it was Lee Volsvik.
Oh, it was Lee Volsvik.
It was a different host. I think it was maybe Greg Thunder. Anyway, it was before Dave. But yeah, that's right.
So if KDWB could make Roxette what they were in the States, maybe they can do the same for this AI-generated song about Carly.
Yeah.
You
never know.
This and the Marnie song are just slammers.
The Marnie one is a home run. It's so good. All right, let's do what really matters. Scores and stats around the world of sports. Chris will change your life with something else.
That's what really matters, right?
Yeah, we'll start it with wild news presented by Catalyst Supply and CatalystSupplyCo.com. If you're a Twin Cities contractor, boost your build with my friends at Catalyst. Thanks, Catalyst.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we already talked about the Four Nations. It went the wrong way. Canada wins 3-2 in overtime. But the Wild play tomorrow against the Red Wings. So the Four Nations break is over for the Minnesota Wild. Zachary, how do you feel? Boldy played, Faber played.
It is so ironic, Cory, because one of the big negatives of the Four Nations face-off, and the rumbling is the GMs of the National Hockey League are not happy about it because of all the injuries. But how wild is it that the Minnesota Wild, who have been known for injuries all year long,
had none,
escaped pretty much unscathed.
Okay, we'll take it.
That's the good news. Boldy and Faber have fun trying to come down from all that high, but Joel Eriksson-Ek and Jonas Brodin and Gustafsson, they have been back. I think they practiced yesterday. Then Boldy and Faber are going to join the team in Detroit today. I think the rest of the team's obviously flying out today, so it's going to be interesting. We've never seen anything like this where you go from a crazy tournament, but Detroit, they should have some fun over there, and
then they're home against Detroit on Tuesday.
Back home.
Any word on Kirill's timeline update?
Yeah,
he passed away.
Still weeks, I would think. So
It's gonna be a while he's back then.
Yeah, he died.
What really matters, though, is this.
You're right about that. Dandelions are thought to have evolved about 30 million years ago in Eurasia. They've been used by humans as food and medicine for most of recorded history. It is thought that they were brought to North America on the Mayflower. So they're not native here.
Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
How much garbage did they bring on that boat?
That's how AIDS got here, too.
I don't think that's true.
No? Okay.
I don't believe that's right. I can check it out. I don't think so.
Dandelions is the AIDS of lawns.
That's like twice. I'm not sure we should go there again. I don't think that's healthy for the morning show.
I don't know if dandelions woke up today going, I wonder what I'm going to get compared to.
Yeah.
Like they're harmless.
No, they're not.
Unless you have allergies.
I have neighbors down the street, and they won't put anything on their lawn. They've taken care of it because I think they got a letter from the HOA. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, how am I getting dandelions? My lawn is immaculate every year. And then all of a sudden, a couple of those son of a bitches pop in. And Chloe thinks they're beautiful flowers.
Exactly. Kids love them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the Mayflower was thinking, is everybody on that boat said, we need something for kids to hold on to and run around with.
Maybe that is a Mayflower.
Yeah.
Zach, you looks like you really want to say something about dandelions.
I'm sure.
No, I'm thinking hard about it.
Okay. How hard?
Because the seeds are the things that you. So whenever it's like this beautiful thing where you're blowing the dandelion and the seeds go everywhere, like you're actually just spreading
the disease,
the weeds.
Yep,
everywhere.
So you're also saying dandelions are a virus that should be eliminated.
They are technically, right.
Yes, they're flowers.
Yeah. I wonder who decided that they weren't beautiful.
A whole field of them is beautiful.
So I mean,
just keep them out of my yard.
Wonder what, why didn't we decide, why roses are bitches? You know what I mean? Like, who just, why?
Yeah, that's
just thorns. They hurt.
Yeah. What did Rosie do?
Yeah, not all rosins.
And they are tough to get rid of if you have a bunch of them. Yeah, watching those people who go out there and pick them one at a time. Their whole lawn is dandelions, basically. I'm like, I know if you're anti-chemical, but you could get rid of these things in about 10 minutes. Shrivel those boys up.
Victor Wembanyama is expected to miss the rest of the regular season and beyond if the Spurs make it because of deep vein thrombosis.
This is wild.
In his right shoulder. So the Spurs said in a statement that the condition is a form of a blood clot, and it was discovered after Wembanyama returned to San Antonio after the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, it's unlikely that it turns into a pulmonary embolism, but it could, and then that can kill you. What's that?
Is that a heart? Is
No,
that a fancy way of heart?
I mean, it's a blood clot that travels to the arteries in your lungs.
Oh, got it.
So it can kill you.
The condition is typically treated with blood thinning medication, which usually precludes a player from participating in a contact sport such as basketball. That's all according to ESPN.com. Yep. So Wemby shut down for the rest of the year.
That's wild.
Yep. Came out of nowhere, too. What really matters is this.
Andy would like us to know that, and my good friend Andy would like us to know that another thing that was brought over on the Mayflower were religious crackpots.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Andy. Way to rub it in our face, you idiot.
He says, fun fact, and this really matters, dandelions are used in Great Britain as soft drink. There's dandelion and burdock.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds like a terrible TNT buddy cop show.
Who would watch that?
Chris has it on DVR.
I love it. I wonder which one of them is a dog.
Yeah, brilliant.
What do you guys want to watch tonight? Rizzoli and Isles, Franklin and Bash, Dandelion and Burdock. He's watched them all.
Yeah.
I want to have a cop show called TNA.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's about two ladies. Oh, boy. And I'm sorry, do you want me to finish? Or
let him do his elevator pitch. You're so impatient.
How do I get pissed off? You haven't even heard
I'm not mad. I love you.
They are...
so tell me about T. What does she do?
Well, she's the smart one of the bunch. She's like really, really, really into math and understanding things from a analytical perspective.
Cool. So she's new school. And then what about A?
A's old school. She'll beat your ass. She's a little thicker, you know?
So this is like a Cagney and Lacey situation.
Sort of, only different because they both are nude most of the time. Oh. You can see that they're always wearing thongs. And from time to time, they smooch.
Oh. What are their names?
TNA.
Yeah, weren't you listening?
I know.
So their names are T.
Yeah. Yes, and A. Weren't you listening to the dude's story?
I was, but I thought that was just a cute
No, it's T as in T-E-E.
Oh.
That's her name.
Like a golf tee.
As in A-Y-Y-Y.
Probably. Oh, a whole bunch of Ys.
3 Ys.
Hey.
Yeah, right.
So,
right.
All right.
And every now and again, they go down to their favorite restaurant.
Which is?
The Y.
What do they get there?
Is this a joke?
They like seafood.
Greasy.
Look, when you laugh at your own joke, it's not good. I don't know. The only two buttons that I push myself are the two Macaulay Culkin buttons. I laugh almost every time.
I love it.
I don't know what it is.
I don't want to see you again for the rest of my whole life.
Every time I hit that, I laugh, and then even
is this a joke?
I don't know why I think that's so funny.
Every now and again,
his delivery's perfect.
Yeah.
Every now and again, they have sex.
No.
I love it.
All right.
I wanted to get that out there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, that's a major plot point.
At
the Y.
Oh, wow.
Major League Baseball and ESPN have mutually agreed, depending on who you ask, because some people are saying this is not mutually agreed upon, to end their national TV contract after 2025. So they're going to be a free agent.
How about that?
No, again, the mutually agreed to part is like CNN.com says sources are saying it was not mutually agreed to, that this is just a relationship that needs to end. They've been partners since 1990.
Wow.
But how about this? Rob Manfred, the commissioner,
right?
According to The Athletic, and this makes tons of sense, he said Major League Baseball is, quote, not pleased with the minimal coverage that MLB has received on ESPN's platforms over the last several seasons outside of the actual game, which is true. If you watch like PTI or Around the Horn, they never talk baseball.
No, right.
Once every
Yankees and Red Sox
or a scandal or something or a giant signing, but 95% of the time they're talking about anything else.
Dallas.
Baseball is never on the list.
But some of that's baseball's fault. Baseball can't get out of its own way. There's a lot of changes that need to be made, and hopefully this wakes them up, because them being a free agent maybe isn't a great thing for baseball because who's going to pay them?
They might learn their value.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. More of what really matters after this. Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
The Fan.
Barney's gone and no one cares. Left behind.
I figured she's getting in her car right now.
Love it.
Welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. I care that Marnie hasn't gone. Yeah, I know.
I thought by now I would have heard no legs. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I thought about it.
These are bangers.
These are great.
What app do you use to?
It is called Eureka, Mureka.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's worked out well. I mean, obviously they aren't great songs all the way across the board, and but it's fun.
They're funny.
It's funny.
Poor Marnie. Poor Marnes.
All right, more What Really Matters. I'll do scores and some boring sports stuff, and then Chris can change your life with something else. We're learning about dandelions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. And I just learned that our friend Kale is here. He's downstairs, so he'll be with us. He's the gentleman who was on the plane that flipped upside down in Toronto. So he'll tell us that story in just a bit.
That's insane.
So I'm glad he's here with us. And yeah, so lots to get to on the show. Marnie and Parrish on his way in too, and Tom Bernard a little bit later as well.
Crazy.
Marnie's gone. No one cares.
No. The Wolves are at Houston tonight. The post All-Star break for the Timberwolves begins tonight. They start the back half of the season, the post All-Star part of the season. Technically more than halfway through, but still, they're in 7th in the West. So they would be in the play-in games, 7 versus 8, 9 versus 10, so on and so forth. But so they would not be necessarily in the playoffs yet, but they'd be pretty freaking close.
Any word on DiVincenzo being near? So it's a pretty significant toe injury.
Don't know. Anybody know?
I just don't know.
I think he's close.
Okay, good.
But what really matters is this.
In 4 years, one breeding pair of rabbits, and their offspring, of course, can create nearly 4 million rabbits.
That's too many rabbits.
That's a lot.
So it's a lot, man.
Which explains the phrase.
Who is eating all these rabbits? Like wolves and whatnot? Who's taking all these things out? Or what's the lifespan? Because if you're making 4 million every 4 years, or whatever it is.
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah,
who's killing all these rabbits?
Good questions. I don't have all those answers, but I'll look them up for you.
We need to know.
I was singing that to myself this morning as I got in the car. It's so good.
Yeah, it's the most addicting one of the bunch so
I hear
far.
that Mike, Marty's husband, was singing it all the time.
Yeah. He whistles it all the time.
Rattlesnakes, hawks, and foxes are the top 3 rabbit eaters, followed by mink, weasels, coyotes, doggies.
You know what's weird about the mink, as dumb as this sounds? Everybody remembers like mink coats.
Yeah.
So, but when has anybody in the history of Earth mentioned a mink outside of a coat?
Yeah.
Just now.
You
First time.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I forget that's even an animal.
Yeah, right.
Same.
It's just a coat.
And they're tiny. They aren't very big.
No.
How many do you have to kill to make a coat? Because I'm kind of a big dude, man, you know?
Maybe that's
I want
why.
to be warm.
Yeah, I want to be warm.
Kill more of them.
I don't need a thong. I need a coat.
We need the rabbits to fatten them up.
That's what I'm saying.
See?
Yeah, good point. Good point. I didn't even know that mink would eat other animals.
Did you hear there's a conspiracy that Burlington actually created rabbits? So then minks could get fat, and then the coat factory.
Yeah.
That's a terrible joke.
Let's keep going though. Let's keep going. Where the hell are there minks?
I don't know.
Do we have minks
we have
in
minks.
the state of Minnesota?
Yeah, we do. Filthy minks.
Yeah. So a ferret is considered a mink.
Yeah, everybody be cool. What'd you call it again?
Mink coats were made of ferrets?
What'd you call it? What?
Ferrets.
Oh. Okay. All right,
yeah, they
whatever.
are.
Boy, look at these little guys.
Yeah, they're cute.
So what other
you should buy
what
one.
other animals are in the mink family?
How would I buy a mink?
Stoat.
A what?
Yeah, you heard what he said. Eric
And
Stoat.
a
You played,
European polecat.
What's a polecat?
That sounds like a sex move.
It does.
Hawk's done a European polecat.
A polecat's a
along with
skunk,
a San
isn't it?
Diego Good Morning.
Isn't a polecat a skunk?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Polecat.
Yeah.
No.
Skunk or not?
No, it looks like one.
That's what we called skunks when I was a
No,
kid.
polecat is not a skunk.
It's not?
No.
Son of a bitch. I'm sorry, Skunks.
It's in the
I guess I'm sorry,
weasel
the polecat.
family.
So they look alike. The polecat is definitely not a skunk.
Yeah, it was not Pepe Le Polecat or whatever it's called.
My
It
whole
was
life's
Pepe
been
Le
a
Pew.
lie.
Yeah. Minks. Tough break
What's a
for
stoat,
minks.
though? I've never heard of a stoat before. They're cute as hell. I bet they smell bad, though.
But again, I'll tell you this. We had this discussion last week. If anybody has like a grenade launcher or,
oh boy,
I don't know, some kind of automatic weapon.
Mark 19 grenade launching
Okay.
machine
What do you
gun.
need that for, Elon?
Please come to my backyard and eliminate all the rabbits from my backyard. Because
Buy
they,
yourself a damn mink.
Or get a lawnmower.
Yeah, get a
have Paul
lawnmower.
come
I'll
over.
run them over.
That's a good point. Lawnmowers and minks.
Oh, man, speaking of that, I went down to
But then your
Ziegler
family
Cat
would
yesterday.
hate me. Where'd you go?
Ziegler Cat down in Stillwater, and they let me drive
sweet.
this giant, I guess, what do you call it, like a front end loader?
Oh,
the big crane
hell
arm that
yeah.
goes down and picks up things.
It's like a backhoe.
Man, that's manly
It's incredible.
work.
Yeah, man, I felt like a man. And
Oh,
then I
yeah.
drove a little, I guess that's a front end loader, like that has the thing on the end that picks things up, And you
Did they
drive
have
around.
stuff for you to actually scoop up?
Yes, I was moving snow around.
That's sweet,
Yeah,
dude.
it's pretty cool.
That sounds
I'm gonna post
so
pictures
awesome.
of myself doing it because it's like it's kind of like playing a video game because you're using joysticks.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there a couple of quote sandbox places
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
where you can go and just move earth?
Yeah.
There's that in Vegas, I think.
Yeah.
I think by Hastings I had heard there's.
Yeah.
I think
They're
there's one
on
in
the way to
Treasure
TI.
Island.
Yeah,
I
right.
need to go there.
It's fun, man. I'll get you down to Ziegler Cat if you want to drive around.
Deal.
They're pretty cool, man.
That sounds
They're
sweet.
really big one. I forget what they're called. They're like son of a bitch. I'll post a picture of me driving one. But man, that's fun. They're much more complicated than I thought they were going to be. I knew I wouldn't be good at it. I just didn't think that I'd be that bad at it.
Do you need to use more than one foot pedal though?
You're in trouble.
Oh boy, because if it's one, I'm great.
Yeah. Well, you can probably get by with just one. Yeah. I think I like the little thing the most though, because it'd be fun to be able to like just decide,
Yeah.
I don't
Like the
want that tree
Bobcat
over there.
size
Yeah,
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Be
Those are
sweet
great
to
to
That's
have.
exactly right. Yeah.
The great philosopher Gavin Rossdale did once say that the little things
Yeah. Machine
Well,
head.
He wrote that about his junk.
Yeah.
Oh,
He did.
did he really?
Is it my turn?
I
think
don't
it's
know.
my
I
turn.
don't remember what we're talking about.
The Gopher basketball team plays tomorrow against Penn State. Good to see Parker Fox yesterday. That
He's a
team
great
is
dude.
red hot, like
Yeah.
Hansel right now. They beat USC and UCLA. Big comebacks in both games, 14 points and 17 points, respectively. So let's get this thing done against Penn State tomorrow.
Respectively.
What time?
Hell
Is
yeah,
it?
man.
What time is it tomorrow?
I wrote it down in my notes here. It is 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Excavator. I drove a giant excavator.
hell yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I was excavating like a bitch.
Yeah, you're manly. Were you smoking cigs?
I'd started smoking.
Yeah.
I did.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Yes,
you
that's
would.
a huge
Yeah,
bitch.
That's right. I couldn't help it.
Yeah, you have to when you do work
I rolled
like
it up
that.
in my sleeve like my grandpa used to, and
Yeah.
I found some Lucky Strikes. They were 90 years old. They said they weren't exactly fresh, and I
Man.
said you should smell my undercarriage. I don't know why I said that. They're a
Yeah.
new client, and I felt bad about it.
Yeah.
Undercarriage.
When your
is-
phone rang.
Dude, Lucky Strikes were, I mean, cigarette smoking is terrible for you.
Go ahead and say it.
Lucky Strikes
Say it.
are like
The definition of cool.
well, I mean, people who smoke Lucky Strikes were sweet, but there's no filter. It's just straight tobacco.
That's
Yeah, you ain't got
basically
time
what
for
they
that.
had in
No.
their helmet in the Vietnam War. And I think smoking the Lucky Strikes was more dangerous than the Viet Cong.
Dude. My God.
He's right. Deny it.
It was
Hey.
So, you remember when that mink coat hits the ooze in Ghostbusters 2 and
Oh,
then it
yeah.
takes off running?
yeah, man. Great film.
Those things wanted rabbits to eat so badly.
You hate that movie. You don't like the second one, right?
It's not very good.
It's
Hawk
perfect.
loves it.
I mean, it's
great.
not bad. It's just vastly inferior to the first one.
Hawk liked the one with all the ladies.
I'm going to go down to Ziegler Cat and get my compact track loader that I drove yesterday and come to your backyard and run over those rabbits.
Please
Oh, yeah.
do.
Because you can't help it.
And yeah, all right
You're
on
out
the
to
back.
kill and smoke.
Well, just give me
Yeah,
a
kill
heads
and
up
smoke.
because my wife and my daughters hate the fact that my French bulldogs eat rabbit crap.
Well, listen,
but they don't
they
want
like
to
what
see
they
the
don't.
rabbits dead. So all you need, give me a heads up. I'll give them a couple $100 and say go to Target and give Chris an hour to have some fun in the
But,
backyard.
Chris, you need
Run
to
some
call
rabbits over.
Gopher State 1 call before you dig in this
They're the
yard.
best.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah,
Here's
they're
what I will
awesome.
say as well. I've said this to your wife before. Start smoking. You know.
Wait,
Right?
did you say that to my wife after you saw her naked?
I still don't understand why he's the only one that got to see. That's not fair, dude.
Listen.
Share with the class.
that story.
The rest of us want to see.
I had a deal with Sauce. I had to inspect the merchandise
Pretty good
before
deal.
he made the final call.
And that's part of it. When you stay in Hawk's Suite in Las Vegas, he gets to check you out like it's a physical. He checks me out all the time.
My God.
We laid in a
at least,
sex swing in that one room.
At least it's only one. The whole upper Midwest saw my first wife's everything.
Genius.
I got a good idea for a reality TV show. Chris comes over to my backyard with an excavator. Sauce comes over with a lawnmower. We see who kills more rabbits in an hour.
Oh, that'd be...
What if we put the lawnmower attachment on the
oh, man.
Now we're talking.
Like the ones they do in the median?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Holy
That's what I'm saying.
smokes.
Yeah, everything gets mowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's corpses in there just getting ground
It
up.
happens.
Yeah, you sound a little alarm, so any little animal knows it's coming.
Yeah.
Say, make your peace with God.
Yep.
And then you light up a Lucky Strike.
Yeah.
I don't think they make those anymore.
What, Lucky Strikes?
Probably not.
Do they?
I feel like
Come on,
Lucky
Zach, do you
Strikes
know?
are one of the ones that candy
They have a
cigarettes
website?
mimic.
Yes, they do.
They definitely mimic those.
Speaking of lucky, there's a guy behind me right now who's pretty lucky.
He's about as lucky as you get.
Is that your wife? It is, yeah. Wow. I got to believe that was a rough morning for you, too. We're going to find more in a moment here with Kale. Am I allowed to say your last name, or do you want that off the air? Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, cool. So that's why I haven't been saying it. Yeah, that's cool.
We get to ask him if he's going to accept this $30,000 offer from Delta,
No
too.
strings.
No strings,
That's
yeah.
what everybody keeps telling me. No
Yeah.
strings attached.
I've been told that before.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
All right, why don't we break now then? Because I
Okay.
got to hear about this. This dude
Yeah.
survived a plane crashing upside down. The goddamn thing rolled, for God's sakes. They were hanging like bats.
Yeah.
Jet fuel everywhere. Could have exploded. It was a ticking time bomb like MacGruber.
That's
but,
right.
no one died, which I cannot believe
Can't
still.
believe it. Can't wait to hear the story. And by the way, you'll be able to watch this KFAN.com/watch to listen and watch here momentarily. So we got that coming right up.
Yep, right after this Power Trip Morning Show.